Hey everyone, nintendoboy17 here. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded a new video in a while, but the last video I did, which was my part 1 of my Midway Arcade Treasures review, I thought it kind of sucked due to the fact that I wasn't born when all of those games came out, and it wouldn't make much sense for me to review those games anyway, because of it. So I removed it, but anyway, I'm going to do another controller review. It's not as exciting as a game review, but heck, this is something I need to let out. The controller I'm talking about is the Intec Pro Mini 2 for the Gamecube. It has 3 extra buttons the original Gamecube controller doesn't have, such as a turbo button, a program button, and an M button, which looks like the Z button. Everything else is your standard stuff. Obviously, you can see that this controller is much smaller than the original Gamecube controller. And like the advertisement says, it's perfect for smaller hands. And that may be true because I have some pretty big hands. And whenever I try to bend my thumb down to use the C-stick or use the D-pad, it feels a bit weird, but only a little bit. They feel okay when I use the analog sticks and the face buttons though. A few reasons of why I don't like this controller that much is that sometimes the Y and X buttons sometimes have a spongy feel to them. And you can tell when they do that when you're playing a game, as that can get pretty distracting. Another thing is that this C-stick feels a bit heavier in comparison to this GameCube controller's C-stick. And that kind of makes it feel awkward to aim in like shooters, like Time Splitters. The last thing I'll talk about is that the M button is pretty much useless. Even if you somehow program it to work, it doesn't work like it should. When I was playing Time Splitters 2, I was trying to make it work the same way as the Z button. And while I could somewhat do it, like, it can fire like 2 shots if I hold it down, it's not 100% complete. But one thing I really do like is that the D-pad is bigger in comparison to the original GameCube controller's dinky little thing. And that's something I feel this controller should have had, a bigger D-pad for games like, say, Mega Man. Overall, I really wouldn't recommend this controller all that much. The buttons can sometimes feel awkward, and the C-stick is a bit heavier than it should be. Unless you can find a good enough alternative from third parties, stick with Nintendo licensed stuff.